I know, you see, somehow the world will change for me and be so wonderful. Live life, breathe air. I know somehow we're gonna get there and feel so wonderful. That's it.
Okay, we're stopping there?
Yeah, we're not doing the whole thing.
Good.
Hey everybody, welcome to the iCarly Fan Podcast. With me, Freddie, and him, Sam.
Oh, thank God, I thought you were going to say it was Carly.
And him, Gibby.
Oh, I didn't even consider Gibby.
Gibby. Remember when Gibby was in Shrek Retold?
Yeah, I do. That was great.
That was the best scene. Anyway, welcome back to the podcast. We had a little short episode last week that just came out. But this week, we got a ton to talk about, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I just repeated what you said.
Thanks. So Thomas, how you been? Haven't seen you in a week.
I've been all right. Just working mostly. Editing. Watching
Game Grumps?
Movies. I don't think I've watched any Game Grumps this week. No.
Well, why not?
I didn't see anything on my feed that looked interesting from the Game Grumps.
The Game Grumps. Well, anyway, any other movies you watched this week?
Yes.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, a couple.
Whoa. Okay, I'm excited.
All right.
The Boruto movie?
No.
What?
Why would I watch the Boruto movie when I could be watching something much better? Like some One Piece movies.
Okay, that's what I assumed you were going to say.
Yeah, so I watched 3 One Piece movies this week. Film Gold, Heart of Gold, and 3D 2Y, which those are both technically specials, but they're like movie length. So.
Were they any good, any of them?
I liked Film Gold. I liked 3D 2Y. Heart of Gold was not very good.
Heart of Gold was one of the specials.
Mm-hmm.
And 3D2Y was one of the specials.
Yeah.
Heart of Gold was just about, it was like a Valentine's Day special.
No, it's like a anime filler that like ties in and acts as like a prequel for the Film Gold.
Okay.
And it's got this like annoying little character who reminds me of Angelica.
I don't know why, but I thought you were
Rugrats.
going to say me.
No.
Like, this annoying little character that reminds me of you.
I mean, maybe. The character's blonde.
Oh, fuck. Better run.
But aside from that, just the movies that we watched here, which was 1 Week by Buster Keaton.
Oh, yeah.
Taboo. And Sunrise by F.W. Murnau.
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce his name?
Murnau, something like that. Both Taboo and Sunrise were by him. He also did Nosferatu, which is probably his most notable film. Yeah.
I'd probably say so. Most people would probably recognize it from SpongeBob nowadays. Nosferatu.
That was good. Yeah, I can't do a SpongeBob very well. I can do Elmo pretty well, but...
Garrett, he could do a pretty good SpongeBob
Oh.
laugh. I don't know about the voice, but the laugh he can do.
I bet Tom Kenny, he kind of looks like he could probably do a SpongeBob.
You know, I've never really made that connection before. He does a really good Ice King. I bet he'd do a really good SpongeBob.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, mostly just One Piecing it up?
Pretty much.
Playing games, hacking into the mainframe, editing.
Yeah.
Cool. I watched I actually had a pretty good week for movies.
Oh, yeah?
I saw Promare.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You were telling me about that?
Which Promare I loved. I thought it was excellent. If you like Gurren Lagann, you're gonna love Promare.
I'll definitely have to check it out soon.
That was fun. Plus, I got to see it for free because I went in and it was supposed to be subbed, and they're like, we didn't download the subbed version by accident, so it was dubbed, which I'm like, good, I would prefer dubbed, because I don't want to be staring at the bottom of the screen during these like action-packed things. So then I got to readmit, and I'm like, well, I'm going to go see Ad Astra in IMAX as well. So I saw Ad Astra, which I thought was amazing. I really, really enjoyed Ad Astra by James Gray, starring Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt is incredible in it.
Is he?
Yes. Very, very, very good movie. And it makes me want to watch more James Gray films because I haven't seen them. So, yeah, I was very impressed. What else did London watch this week? Something?
You watched My Girl 2.
Just for funsies.
Just out of morbid curiosity.
Yeah. Those were the big ones. Those two. But I mean, like, I rewatched Basketball.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I used to watch that a lot when I was a kid. You've been psyched out. You're going down.
I used to love Basketball. It was okay this time around.
Yeah, I'm sure I'd probably have like a similar opinion on it. I'm sure I'd probably still love it for the nostalgia, but I'm sure in terms of like actual movie quality, it wouldn't be as high as I used to rate it.
It wasn't terrible. It was like enjoyable, just kind of weird. There's very weird pacing in that film. Because it's just like, the opening scene is like 5 years later, and then later on it's like 9 months later. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
It's true.
It's just jumping around. Yeah, so, and then I've been playing, I got a new computer, so I've been playing a lot of games. I've been playing The Witcher 3 a lot. I got this game called Hot Lava, because it looks fun. It's like a little parkour game, where you're like a kid, and like the floor is lava. It's like, you know, as a kid, you play the floor. It's like that, but as a game. So you're like, in a school, you're like jumping from desk to desk.
You know,
it's fun.
I'm not familiar with that game, but I'm familiar with the meme.
Did you never play The Floor is Lava?
I mean, I didn't really play it. I knew of it, but remember that meme that was good? I think it was like 2017 circa. Like,
ooh, old meme.
Where people would be like recording and you're like, the floor is lava, and you had to like jump up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I see TikToks of that occasionally.
Oh, I don't.
You don't go on the TikTok.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I'm already like an old man by like internet standards.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm on TikTok. I know how to do the dab or the thing, whatever this thing is.
Hey, why don't you spell dab backwards? What is it? It's bad.
Bob.
Don't dab.
Don't dab. Bad. Tonota.
Sure.
Tonode.
Tonode?
Tonode. Bad Tonode. Oh. I've already. Okay. And anything else I've been doing? That's mostly it. Just watch. Oh, I watched season 2 of Disenchantment because that came out the other day.
Oh, how was it?
I mean, I liked season 1 fine.
So did I.
I didn't think it was anything amazing. Like, definitely not on the level of like Futurama or anything, but I enjoyed it.
I agree.
I felt pretty much the exact same about season 2.
Okay.
I'm like, it's enjoyable, but it's like, I don't think I'll ever rewatch them. Like, maybe once, but like Futurama, I'll like rewatch quite a bit.
Futurama is like jam-packed with like a shit ton of jokes. It's really funny.
Like, Futurama's honestly like one of the only like animated like adult comedies that I'll rewatch. Things like Rick and Morty I've rewatched like once, but I'm just like, I don't really need to watch more Rick and Morty. I
watched Rick and Morty's like first 2 seasons a lot because I was in like, because I was like watching it when I was like in high school. Yeah. And then by the time like the 3rd season came around,
like I still like the show, but it's the same thing. Like, I think it's pretty decent, but I really don't think Rick and Morty is like anything special.
No.
Except for Pickle Rick. That is so funny.
Oh yeah. It's the best thing to come out of anything.
And the Szechuan sauce. That's a pretty funny meme. Especially when people harass McDonald's workers about it.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Fuck you. Watched... What else did I watch? I thought I watched another show. Trying to watch some shows, but no, I think that's it. I've just been dancing. I watched the animated Sinbad for the first time last night.
Oh, how was it?
Didn't like it. I really like Road El Dorado, so I thought I would like Sinbad, but no.
Yeah, I don't think I ever watched the Sinbad one. I watched Road to El Dorado. But
Sinbad was voiced by Brad Pitt, though.
oh, so you watched 2 Brad Pitt movies this week?
Yep.
Nice.
One of them was much better than the other.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But anyway, you want to get to audience questions?
Yeah, sure.
We have from 2 different people today.
Are they the same 2 people?
No, this first one comes from Christian. You met Christian?
Maybe?
He likes monster movies. Anyway, first question. He says, Dear Ween 1 and 2. Which one's 1, which one's 2?
I don't know. I've never put us in numerical order before. Should it be from, like, tallest to shortest or shortest to tallest?
When is it ever shortest to tallest? We'll be the first.
Well, because you gotta grow to be the tallest, you know?
Well, it doesn't really matter. We'll both be Ween 1.
Okay.
Ween 2 is the audience.
There we go.
That doesn't make sense. Though they've never rated particularly high by mainstream critics, giant monster movies have always had a massive audience because of their spectacle and creature design. I am a fan of various monster films and love a few of them despite them having fairly light plots. So I'd like to know if you share my opinion on these films. What are your favorite giant monster films?
I do, yeah. No, I really like kaiju movies in particular. I think my favorite out of like the Godzilla movies is probably the original Ghidorah, the 3-headed monster.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
It's fun. It's really fun. And the original Mothra vs. Godzilla is really good too. Those are probably like my 2 favorites. That or the classic, the legendary Son of Godzilla! Heyo! That movie is fucking legit. You got my boy, Manila. He is the shit. I love him.
He's so funny.
Oh, God. Every time I watch that movie, I just want to dub it with, like, Hank Hill and Bobby Hill. Because I feel like it would work so well.
Damn it, Bobby. Yeah. I mean, I am less into giant monster films, mostly just because I haven't seen a lot of the Godzilla films. Like, I've seen the original, but it's been too long to really remember it, so my favorite Godzilla film is probably Son of Godzilla as well.
You might honestly have an easier time getting into the Gamera movies, because they're shorter, and they tend to be a lot more off the wall and kind of weird.
Yeah, and every Godzilla movie I've watched, I've fucking hated the human subplot. Except Son of Godzilla. That one was fine. Just the ones I've watched.
Yeah, there are some pretty good ones sometimes, like in Mothra vs. Godzilla, there's like a fucking princess who's like being I can't talk today. There's like some political shit going on, and a princess is going to be assassinated, but she gets possessed by like an alien who is trying to get Mothra to save everyone from Godzilla. It's pretty good.
But besides Godzilla, my favorite giant monster movies would be like the Peter Jackson King Kong.
Yeah, I love King Kong.
The Bong Joon-ho, The Host.
The Host is great.
Both of those, I think, are fantastic.
I'm surprised you're not mentioning your little North Korean friend.
I don't think that movie's Pulgasari.
Pulgasari
I enjoyed. I don't think it's anything amazing.
Fair enough.
I gave it like a 6 out of 10. That's about how much I enjoyed it, too. Like,
I thought you gave it like a 9 out of 10.
No, I wanted to, but I couldn't. Anyway, watch Pulgasari on YouTube. North Korean kaiju film. Very fun.
Yeah.
Pulgasari is
not for
cute.
the filmmakers, though.
Yeah, because they got kidnapped and taken to North Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay. The other question comes from Pierre.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
This one has 2.
2, okay.
What was the first movie you remember watching in theaters?
The Grinch with Jim Carrey.
Yikes.
And I had to leave because the part where he's like, the Grinch! I was like, ah! Like, it was the only time I ever did anything like that. 'Cause my parents apparently had taken me to a shit ton of movies before and a shit ton of movies
The Grinch
after.
is scary.
But yeah, no, I just got too freaked out when it got to that and they had to take me home.
It's really hard I really don't remember a lot before I was like 12.
I remember seeing episode 2 in theaters.
Nice. I know I saw episode 3. I'm sure I saw them, but I remember seeing episode 3. But the first movie I can like vividly remember seeing in theaters was Shark Boy and Lava Girl in 3D.
Oh, nice.
And I remember going to Bubba Gump's afterwards because my mother worked there. And I had the cookie, the ice cream cookie.
I've never been there.
Nice. Yeah, so, okay. Second question.
Okay.
If you could remake Eraserhead, would you fix the trash audio mixing?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't exactly be fixing that audio because if I was remaking the movie, I'd be making my own audio. So I'd just make my own trash audio mix.
Nah, I would not. I'd just I'd only remake the visuals and just put in the audio just to fuck with Pierre. So thank you, Pierre and Christian, for your questions. Remember, if you want to put in any questions, email us at 2weensandascreen@gmail.com or comment on any one of our videos, because I look through them all until we get 1 billion subscribers.
Oh, is that going to be the stopping point?
Yeah, 1 billion. That's when I'll stop looking at the comments. Yeah. What's your movie idea, Thomas?
Alright, get this. There is a man whose wife just disappears one day. And she's gone for like a week. And then suddenly, she just appears. And she acts like she was never gone. As far as she knows, she just
Blinked out
walked
of space. Yeah.
Exactly. And she stays for a little while, and then she does it again. But she's gone for a longer period of time. And this movie is about this husband who's trying to cope, and she keeps trying to explain to him, and she's like, no, I'm disappearing. And he's like, what? That's preposterous. That's impossible. But of course, longer periods of time, and then he starts aging and she doesn't. And he's like, oh, what the fuck is going on here? And yeah, it's basically a movie about them trying to live with this problem.
Sounds sad.
It probably would be. I don't know. I don't have a script for it or anything.
Not yet. But you're writing one.
Maybe. I don't know. If I feel the fire in my fingers start moving.
My idea is for a musical.
Oh.
And I actually did start writing a screenplay for this one.
Oh, nice.
Because I really like this idea. It's kind of like Jesus Christ Superstar.
Okay.
In that it's about a spiritual leader, but it's about a cult leader. Because are there any musicals about cults?
I mean, I would say yes, but there would be lots of people who would disagree.
You're going to say Jesus Christ Superstar?
I mean, basically any religious musical, in my opinion.
But I would love to, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and watching a lot of documentaries about, small cults, and I would love to make, a movie about, a 50-person cult that, has a commune and,
Like Waco or something?
Yeah. And the main character is, the leader of the cult. There's two main characters. It's, his childhood friend who thinks he's insane and trying to get people to, leave the cult, and him trying to, get people to join.
Ah, okay. That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah. And I don't know. Cults are fascinating, so.
I agree. No, I really enjoy,
And we need some musical cult movies.
It's true. It would be a cult classic, I'm sure.
Stop it. That was not funny.
My bad.
It's a little funny.
Just a little.
Little funny. Little funny. Little funny. Ha ha. Thomas is a little funny. I also played the Puppet Master game.
Yeah, you were telling... I think you told me that last week. I don't know if you told me on the podcast, but I remember you were telling me about that last time I was here.
Yeah. Which is fun. Just a little team deathmatch game that's like one guy made.
Huh.
And updated. It was like last updated like a year ago. And I'm glad that the movies exist for the sole reason that I can play this game. Because I don't really like... I've only seen the first 3 movies, but I thought the first one was like the worst thing I've ever seen. The third one was okay, because there was a guy with guns and they were fighting Nazis.
The 6-shooter.
Yeah, 6-shooter's great.
Yeah, I watched like 1, 2, 3, retro, and 5 when I was a kid.
I probably will watch them all because I hate myself, but at least for now I've only seen the first 3.
You gotta watch the Killjoy movies at some point. If you really hate yourself.
I feel like one day I will have seen every full moon feature.
Oh my god. I wouldn't do that. Oh gosh.
And then I can finally die.
No, you won't. They'll just keep making them.
Charles Band will be like a cyborg.
He'll like upload his brain to a computer, and he'll be like, he'll just have an algorithm that he like designs to like come up with these movies, and it'll just like be a printer, and it'll print out like a 1-sentence synopsis, and everyone's like, "This is the new script, guys. We got to make it. We got to keep Full Moon afloat."
Yeah. So we're gonna get on to the movies we watched, but first, I added a movie.
Yeah, you want to start with that one?
If you want to watch this movie, it's on Netflix. It's 30 minutes. Go ahead and... it's called Splatter. So go ahead and pause the podcast if you want to watch it and go watch it right now and come back.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. We're going to say the whole thing. But
it's,
anyway. It's really good.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it. So Splatter was directed by Joe Dante.
Director of Inner Space and Gremlins 1 and 2.
And Looney Tunes Back in Action.
He's a director of a lot of things.
And Matinee, which I haven't seen, but I've heard pretty good things about.
Oh, I enjoy Matinee.
And The Hole.
I haven't seen that one.
And The Second Civil War.
I didn't know they made that. I'm just kidding. There
was a TV movie called The Second Civil War that he made. That was apparently pretty good. And it's starring Corey Feldman.
The Second Civil War or this movie?
This movie.
Okay, I was going to say.
From The Goonies and his musical career. And Tony Todd from Candyman.
And the Night of the Living Dead remake.
And the Night of the Living Dead remake. So, this movie's really bad.
I'd agree.
But it's also fascinating, at least to me.
I mean, if you want my honest opinion, I think this movie's, like, bad in the same way that, like, Terrifier is bad. Where it's, like, the same tier of movie to me. Where it's, like, really bad, really low production value, really corny, really bad lighting, like, the whole 9 yards. But there is this corniness and self-awareness factor that kind of makes it, I won't say necessarily enjoyable to watch, but you can
more
watch
enjoyable.
it.
I don't like Terrifier at all, but I would agree with why you said that.
Yeah, I don't think I like Terrifier either.
I wouldn't say I like this one, but it was honestly, the camera work and the lighting was so terrible that it honestly feels like Joe Dante was having a party and he just happened to have these 5 people there and they were drunk and he's like, "Guys, I just got the new iPhone. Do you want to make a movie right now?" And they wrote a script in 3 minutes and then made a movie. That's what it felt like to me. It felt like they were like, hey guys, I'm Joe Dante. I just started a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It feels like a YouTube video.
It really does.
The storyline is that Corey Feldman plays Johnny Splatter, a rock and roll legend.
Whoa!
And at the beginning of the little short film, he kills himself.
Whoa!
And then it cuts to his weird little castle. And Tony Todd is there with a bunch of other people. None of them matter.
Yeah.
There's a man who was Johnny's psychiatrist. There was his ex-lover. There was his ex-bass player.
That was I guess his bass player was also his ex-lover.
Yes, also, yes. 2 ex-lovers. And his drummer. Or was...
It's his
guitar player. Yes. Gorth. That's not his name. And they're like, oh, time to read the will, but there's nobody there to read the will. They're just doing it. And a video comes up on screen, and Johnny's like,
Hey guys, I'm here to tell you what you all get. Ha 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 ha.
and he's like, to my psychiatrist, you get nothing. Whoa. And he's like, to the lady who stole the best song and went on Oprah.
Yeah.
There's some dialogue that I'm like, this is pretty funny, because I know they're trying to be a parody, like funny in a bad way.
Yeah.
In a bad but funny way. Felt like the DDoS.
I guess, yeah. Are you going to make a DDoSer movie one day?
Yes.
About this tier of quality?
No, it'll be like $100 million budget.
Oh, nice.
I'll spend it all on the costume for the DDoS. And then Corey Feldman, for the next 30 minutes, he's a zombie somewhere in the house. They open his casket and he's like, he's not there, but there's a book that tells you how to kill him somehow. For whatever reason, the book's in there that tells you how to get rid of the zombie.
Yeah.
But then he kills everybody as the night progresses. The psychiatrist walks into a payphone that he has installed in his house. And the payphone electrocutes him and blows up his brain or something.
Yeah. And then
honestly, the effects on just that part weren't terrible.
Yeah, that was the point. I'm like, oh, at least the kills in this are going to be pretty.
And then everything else was not.
Yeah.
The second person to die is his ex-lover / bass player.
Can we talk about how he kept the telephone booth in his house?
That's what rich people
nostalgia.
Do. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep a kendama.
Oh.
Do you know what a kendama is? Were kendamas ever popular here?
Is that thing that
yeah.
the little ball on the string? Boop. Yeah.
They were really, really popular in Hawaii.
They're pretty popular here too.
As in, they're probably still kicking around in Hawaii a couple places.
Still kicking around in the high schools here, I'm sure. I used to see them when I worked at
Do you have 7 of them?
I never had a single one.
Wow, we should start kendamaing.
No.
Anyway, back to the movie. Nostalgia, payphone kills somebody. Then the woman,
yeah,
the ex-bass player, she wanders around. She's like, I'm going to find a way out. And she runs into Johnny, who's all gross, and he looks like a lizard. Not really a zombie. He just kind of looks green and sick.
Yeah.
And he licks her hand. Well, he kisses her hand, but he has a bunch of gross snot that comes off it. And then he takes the CD of the song that she stole from him, and he slices her throat with it.
Yes.
And then he makes her sing the song.
Yes.
And she's like,
yes. Yes.
And then it cuts down back to the woman, the lover.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, Johnny's like, you were selfish and conceited and you betrayed me. but your prize is in our room. And she's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, what? What are you doing? So she wanders up to the room and she finds Johnny.
She pretends to like him.
Yeah, he kisses her and she's like, I missed your kisses. And he's like, and she's like, so what do I win? And he says, relief. And then he shoves his hand into her chest, that's the word, and rips out her heart. And then he's like, I ripped out your heart because you ripped out mine.
And then he throws the heart on the bed and like pushes her over on the bed and then grabs the sheets and then just pulls them, and both the heart and her like fall onto the ground. And it's like, what the fuck was any of that?
It's his Corey Feldman maneuver, not manure. Sure, it's his manure. And then of course, instead of sticking together like no one has been doing the entire film, the guitar player is like, Johnny left me something. And it's a guitar, but it's like a second-rate guitar. And he's like, oh, fuck Johnny always doing this. Well, fuck that. I'm going to go take what's rightfully mine. And he goes to take Johnny's, like, prized guitar. He's like, aha, I won't be second best this time. And he plugs it into an amp. And he starts playing. But ghost fingers come out. And they push all the volumes up. And then the guy's head bleeds and he dies.
Yep. And then it's just...
And then Tony Todd is around. And he's like, aha, I'm the band manager. I won't let this happen. So he goes through the ritual of...
he has to have like body parts from all of them. And
yeah, he has to find like an ear or an eye or like different body parts from each body. And he does, and he puts it into a bag with his own blood, and he puts it on fire. And then Johnny walks in, but he's like, haha, I have this fiery bag of body parts. And Johnny's like, no! And he's like, so this is how it's going to work. And then he forces Johnny to come back to being
a rock
star. And he resurrects the bass player. And he's like, I needed a bass player. And then the movie ends with him grabbing Tony Todd by the neck. And he says, 5% commission. Not 10. And then it cuts to credits.
Yeah, what a piece of shit.
Yeah. It's but it fascinates me when like a good director or a director that's made a movie that I really like makes something so bad.
Yeah. It makes you wonder if it was intentional, which
like parts of it make me feel like it was intentional. But I'm just like, I also need to figure out how this was released.
I think it was a web series. Because when I initially looked it up, I think it popped up as a web series. So I wonder if it had maybe split up into 3 parts or something. Because it did look like a YouTube video.
Oh, it was an interactive short horror web film. It wasn't really interactive, but it was created for Netflix.
Huh. Yeah, no, that wasn't interactive at all.
The film aired over 3 parts, so 3 little 10-minute sections over October to November, and then was combined into a 29-minute segment. And, something that's very obvious if you watch this, but this was produced by Roger Corman.
Ah, that makes a lot more sense now. Of course, King Corman has his name on it.
Oh, okay. So when this was first released, the first segment was made, and then after the first segment was made, the audience got to vote on who dies next. Apparently. And then they filmed it in a week and edited it together and then released it. So and that was why it was interactive. And that was why it was terrible.
I mean, I'm sure that wasn't the sole cause. I'm sure it was probably I don't know. Yeah, no, I didn't enjoy this very much. I thought it was...
So they didn't... All they did was they just changed how it was edited. Like, the person that would vote, they would vote for who dies next, and then they just insert that one in next kind of thing. Like, they'd shoot, like, 2 minutes of, like, oh, I'm gonna go do this. That's why nobody ever died, next to anyone. They were always by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you said you didn't enjoy this movie?
No, I don't think I did.
Would you say this is, like, the bottom of the Joe Dante films you've seen?
Yes.
Probably by far?
Yes.
What would you give this movie?
Probably, like, a 2, maybe.
I'm gonna give this one a 1. But you should still watch it. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, you have my approval.
Fascinating. Anyway, our total is a 1.5.
Woo!
Now we're going to talk about our classic film today. Thank you, Pierre, once again for getting us to watch this film. It was Runaway from 1984, directed by Michael Crighton, the esteemed author of The Andromeda Strain, Runaway, Jurassic Park, Westworld.
What are those last two? Never heard of them.
Never heard of him. He also directed the Westworld movie.
I got really excited because within like the first 5 minutes when they were in the field chasing that robot, I thought that was going to be the entire movie. I was like, yes!
Man, I fucking wish. I fucking love the little robot in the field.
Yeah.
I love a lot of the little robots in this movie. But then it's so bad.
Yeah.
So this movie is about Tom Selleck, and he's a police officer. And he's in the Runaway division that goes after malfunctioning robots.
Yep.
That are usually running away. And that's what he does. And then one day he finds...
He has a new partner.
He has a new partner. Her name is...
I don't remember her name.
He calls her Kid a lot. He goes, hey, kid. Hey, kid. Hey, kid, get over here.
Yeah.
Karen
the kid.
Karen the kid. So him and Karen get a call about, somebody died at a Runaway thing. So they go to this house and like this wife and her like daughter had died or something, and there's a baby still inside, and there's a robot in there who like was killing them with a kitchen knife.
Yeah.
And they try to go in, but the robot has a gun. And Tom Selleck's like, we can't wait anymore. So he's like, puts on this electromagnetic scatter suit. That's what it's called. And he walks in to try to stop the robot. But there's a camera person that also walks in.
Yeah,
He's like, stop! Go away! And the camera person's like, I'm gonna follow you!
This was by far probably the dumbest fucking scene in the movie. Because it's like, number one...
Why are the other police letting this happen?
Exactly.
And why is this guy so dumb?
It's like, oh my god.
And then the robot shoots him in the head.
He deserved it.
But Tom Selleck uses his laser gun to destroy the robot.
And saves the baby.
But
the baby's dad
had run off. He had freaked out because he's like, the robot's malfunctioning. He's like, I can't believe you would do that. He's crazy.
I gotta get out of this movie and get into Twin Peaks.
He's in Twin Peaks?
He's in Twin Peaks, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You can look forward to that when you get to that.
Nice.
Nuts!
Yeah, so then they like are taking apart the robot, trying to figure out what went wrong with it, and they find this microchip, like the main little motherboard chip.
Yep.
This one has a red stripe.
Oh no.
And they're like, this isn't the regular one. It makes robots murder.
Oh no!
So they're trying to find out what's going on. They try to find the guy. It cuts to the villain of the movie, Gene Simmons from Kiss. He's with another guy that he had built the little things with. And he's like, give me the templates. And he's like, you won't get the templates until you give me the money. It's in the safe at the work. And then Gene Simmons is like, fine. And then he disappears. And the guy is left with a briefcase, which he assumes is full of money. And he opens it, and there's wads of cash, but only the top bill is real on each one. He's like, what the fuck? And then underneath a towel, a little spider robot crawls out and kills this guy.
Yep.
And I also thought this scene was very stupid. I'm like,
it was.
why didn't Gene Simmons just give him the money and get the templates and then kill him? Like, why is he going through all this trouble of killing this guy first? Or just don't kill him.
Yeah.
And then so Tom Selleck, they find out where this other guy was, the dad that had run off. And they go to this like apartment he's like hiding out at. And the guy almost shoots Tom Selleck, but Tom Selleck's like, I'm a police officer. And he's like, wow, maybe you can help me, officer. Tom Selleck's like, come on, we gotta go. He's like, I can't go outside.
Yep.
And they go outside, and he's like, see, I told you, because Gene Simmons is standing right in front of them. And he sees him, and he starts sprinting away. And that's when Gene Simmons pulls out a giant laser gun
that shoots like tracking missiles.
Homing missiles. So then there's a chase scene. There's like a point of view like chase scene where you're the missile and you're like, I'm chasing Tom Selleck, but really I'm chasing the other guy.
Yep. And
that guy dies. And Tom Selleck's like, we gotta find Gene Simmons.
Yeah, and then
and they start looking for Gene Simmons with their weird little. They don't have like a sketch artist. They just have like a computer that's like you like look through a bunch of different eyes and a bunch of different like facial structures. And I'm like, that sounds worse than a facial recognition artist.
Yeah, probably. I'd imagine it'd probably be much more annoying and probably a lot quicker to have a police sketch artist, but who knows?
God, this movie. So next up, they find Gene Simmons in a hotel room.
Well,
right?
No.
They meet up with, right? He's meeting up with a bunch of people, or what?
Well, before that, there is someone who sets off a runner in the building.
Oh, yes. They find a woman.
Oh, no!
And Tom Selleck, the first thing he says about her, he's like, wow, she's very attractive. I'm like, thanks, Tom Selleck.
Yeah, after he'd already been hitting on Karen the whole fucking movie, too.
Yep.
Literally, the first scene with him and Karen, it's like a scene where they're like walking down a hallway and like out a door, and he's like staring at her ass like half the duration of when they're walking out the hallway. It's like, oh.
Thanks, Tom Selleck.
Yes.
Fuck you. So yes, they meet up with this woman's being trapped by a runaway robot who's like trying to zap her. And Tom Selleck's like, he's trying to impress her. So he's like, I'll get him. And he walks in without any body armor, and he fights the robot, and he ends up breaking it with like a lamp. Like, he bashes it to pieces.
Yep.
And they're like, why the fuck did you do that? He's like, judgment call.
Yep. Totally wasn't trying to look macho or anything.
And then he tries to like help her out, but he like bumps into her when she's like, no, I gotta leave. And he's like, let me walk you out. And he's like, no! And then she spills out all of these all of the red lined microchips.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm sorry. He said he would kill me. Gene Simmons said he would use his big gun to shoot me in the head. And he's like, help us find him.
Yep. So then we get to the hotel.
Then we go to the hotel room where Gene Simmons is at with a group of investors.
Yep.
Who are all like tech people who are like, we might buy this.
And
they break into the room to try to get him. Tom Selleck's like, we can't wait anymore. I'll take responsibility. And they bust in. They're like, stop right there, Gene Simmons from Kiss, who has a big laser gun. And he's like, I see
I've got your drone.
Yeah, he's like, well, watch out for my drone. And a drone flies from the top of the roof, the ceiling. Yes. And he's like, my smoke screen drone. And the smoke screen. And then bullets are going everywhere and people are dying. And Gene Simmons runs out and he's like, watch out for my laser gun.
What?
Yeah, that's the scene.
Yeah.
He escapes.
He escapes. He shoots Karen in the arm.
But remember, these are missiles. So Karen has a unexploded missile inside her.
Yeah, why it didn't explode upon contact?
She's too fragile. She's a woman.
Yeah, the other two dudes who got hit with it, they died.
Yeah, they were men.
Yeah.
So Tom Selleck's like, no, we can't use the disarm robot. That's shitty.
Yeah, he's like, this is an old model, and it was shit then.
And he's like, I'll do it. So he's like tinkering. He's like, I'm going to get you out of it. And he does. It's not very climatic.
It's a very long scene.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is a boring ass scene. I know what's going to happen. They're not going to blow off her arm, even though that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then, like, the rest of the movie is like, I couldn't do it.
She can have a robot arm that goes Runaway at one point.
She, like, punches herself in the face. So
she
they
just
do it.
rips off.
I forgot. We should go back. A recurring segment theme of the film is that Tom Selleck is afraid of heights.
Oh, yes.
He says this a lot. One of the first cases they have together is they go to this construction area where there's a runaway robot at like the top of it. And he's like, I can't go up. So Karen goes up and stops it.
Yep. And there's also that scene in the helicopter where he looks out.
Yeah, the helicopter into the field right on their first segment. He's like, he's like, I don't like heights.
Land the plane. That was it.
Land the plane.
Land it. Okay.
What happened after the hotel and the arm?
It's like the car scene, isn't it? Where like they send like the little like robots to explode at their car.
Yes, there's little robots. So they have the woman, they're driving and trying to escape. And obviously something's tracking them. So there's little like robots that crawl across the street and they're like, and they like try to explode. Yeah. But Karen in her car, she has a laser beam shooting at them. And it's like blowing them up. But there's too many. So Tom Selleck's like, we gotta ditch this car. So he opens the door and he opens the other door and he like does the splits to like get from one door to another. And then he's like, come on, you gotta do it too.
Yeah. So the other lady is hesitant, but
she does.
Yeah.
And the other car explodes.
It's still tracking them.
It's still tracking them. So he's like, what the fuck? It's tracking you. What is it? And she's like, fuck. It must be my bag. So she throws her bag out. She grabs the templates that she's had out, and she throws the bag. And then
they go to a restaurant. Where Gene Simmons takes Karen.
Yeah, he's like, don't worry, he'll be here. And of course he shows up, but then takes Karen hostage. And Tom Selleck's like, I didn't think of this.
Yeah, so the lady...
They wanted to have an exchange.
At the same time.
Yeah. Tom Selleck keeps some of the templates, though. He's like, I'm sneaky.
Well,
he's
the
not
lady's
sneaky.
Like, this is my insurance.
Yeah, she gives Tom Selleck some. And then they pass off the hostages. And as she gets into Gene Simmons' arms, he goes, yeehaw! And he stabs her in the head.
Yep.
I wish he had said yeehaw at that moment.
It would have been nice.
Yeah. And he's like, aha. And then him and Tom Selleck have a little like shootout. But Gene Simmons gets away. And they're like, the captain's like, oh, Tom Selleck, you did it again. Why? What the fuck, Tom Selleck? Why? What are you doing, you piece of shit? Do you even know how hard I work for this police department? Do you? And he just did that. Police captain's very annoying.
Yes.
Tom Selleck's like, I got a tracker on him.
Don't worry. I know what I'm doing.
And they have people like staking out this like mall he's at or something. And they're like, he's in the bathroom. And they're like, let's go. And they all break in the bathroom. He's not in there. Yeah.
So his son gets kidnapped.
Yes, his son gets kidnapped.
Oh, there's
also,
like
there's robots in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And they kill some police officers.
There's also like one scene. I don't remember exactly where this happens, but like there's like this like psychic lady who's like, "Oh, you two were brothers in another life. You are fated to meet." And it's just like,
yeah, the psychic like works for the police department. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, what? But yeah, that was pretty dumb.
There's a bunch of other scenes. There's a bunch of scenes with his son, who's the worst actor I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And they have a robot named Lois. Lois?
Yep.
Who's also pretty funny.
Yeah,
but all the scenes with his son are just fucking nonsense. Except the only one I kind of liked was after Tom Selleck was swearing up a storm. He was freaking out.
He's like, Dad,
I heard you. And then he pretends to be his dad. He's like, don't let it happen again.
Yeah.
I at least thought that was kind of like cute. Wasn't amazing, but I'm like, that's better than any other scene he's in.
I felt like it was trying to like tell me not to curse with its wholesome 80s values.
Yeah, cursing is wrong. If you curse, you are gonna be cursed.
And it made me sick.
Well, I'm sick of you. Got him.
Ah!
Anyway, Gene Simmons kidnaps the kid, and of course he takes him to the construction area from the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
And Tom Selleck's like, don't follow me to Karen. And yeah. Karen's like, fine. But then Lois was recording the message for whatever reason. And she finds out where they're going. So she's like, I'm going to go too. And Tom Selleck gets to the construction zone. And he walks in and there's spiders on the ground everywhere. The little spider robots. And they're like, bah, 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 and they're like little drones. They're waiting. And they let him pass. And he gets on the elevator. And he goes up, and Gene Simmons is there.
With the son.
From Kiss.
Yes.
And he has the son. And Tom Selleck's like, let my kid go. And he's like, let me have the templates. And he's like, once my son's down the elevator. And he's like, okay. And he lets the son on the elevator, and the son starts going down. And then Gene Simmons is like, ha ha ha, you fool! I'm Gene Simmons from Kiss!
Yes.
Don't you know that I would never let anyone escape? And he's like, I programmed the robots to kill the first person that comes down, or anyone that comes down the elevator.
I wonder, like, what he had to do, like, or I guess it's probably just, like, has, like, an AI that detects the where the door to the elevator is and something.
Probably, I don't know.
Comes off it.
So then Tom Selleck's like, son! No! Press the button! Stop the elevator! And then son's like, Dad, I can't! The buttons aren't working! None of them are working! And Tom Selleck's like, you fucking asshole! I'll fucking kill you! And then Karen runs in. She's like, I'll save the son. And the robots, she's walking in. So they're like, oh, she's fine. She's walking in. And she like helps the son to like climb up a ladder. And they're like, we're okay.
Yep.
And then
where they hide for the rest of the final confrontation.
Yes, they hide. And then Tom Selleck and Gene Simmons are like fighting.
Yep.
This was like a really boring fight, so I don't even really remember.
He goes up.
Yeah, Tom Selleck gets like hit into the elevator or something, and it gets like it like malfunctions, and it like goes all the way to the top where there's no floor anymore.
Max speed.
And Tom Selleck's like, oh no, I'm afraid of heights.
And then little spider robots come and spray acid on his face.
He has to start like fighting the spiders. And then he has to like do a weird little like Spider-Man thing where he goes underneath the elevator to reset it because the reset button's on the bottom for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Instead of inside of it.
Because that's totally
Or just,
something
like,
that they would do.
Multiple reset. I don't know. But he does that and he starts going back down.
And then Gene Simmons
is there.
Elevator.
And he like fights him again. But then Tom Selleck hits Gene Simmons off.
And then he's killed by his
robot. Gene Simmons falls down and I don't think this has ever been done before, but the villain was actually killed by his own creation.
What?
Yeah, I think this movie invented that.
Wow. It's the first time for everything.
So Gene Simmons dies. Karen and Tom Selleck kiss.
Yep.
The son's like, I just witnessed a man dying. And then the movie ends.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Pierre, for that.
So, Thomas, what did you think of the film overall? Like,
I didn't think it was good. I dare say it was bad. But I thought it had a layer of corny enjoyability to it. Like, I didn't hate it.
Like, you like the missile laser gun.
Like there
I like that.
There were lots of like little like goofy and kind of funny scenes that were seemingly unintentionally funny. But I didn't hate this movie. I thought it was okay. I'd probably give it like a 5.
I really did not like this movie, which is surprising because I like stupid things like this. And there's a couple reasons. I really, really, really hate Gene Simmons' character.
Yeah,
as it is like he's nothing. Like
it's a cartoonish.
There's so from a writer like Michael Crighton, it made me angry that the movie was so stupid. Like there was no nuance to anything. Like I really wish there was. Even
to be fair, this is like I think this is like an older Michael Crichton work though. So he might have been a little bit riper, you know.
But like even there's slim ideas that are like there that I'm like, oh, maybe this is gonna like lead into the villain. That'd be kind of neat. Like when they first go to the construction area, they talk about how everything's automated now, and there's a bunch of people that aren't working. So I'm like, maybe this movie will deal with automation, because automation is a big deal in like a lot of dystopian novels and stuff. Like it's and our future.
Oh, most certainly.
So I thought maybe Gene Simmons is like trying to prove that robots are not a good thing by having them like kill people so that we won't.
No, he's just evil.
He's just evil. He's just like, I like money.
Yeah.
That's it.
He literally has that one line where he's like, I'm going to take these chips and I'm going to give them to whoever gives me the highest amount of money.
Also, I really don't like the relationship between Tom Selleck and Karen.
No, I don't either.
It's really, really annoying, and it's really gross a lot of the time. Like,
yeah,
it's like, it's just a little... It's really gross that, like, Tom Selleck's, like, such a womanizer in this. I'm just like, because I'm just like, why? It doesn't add anything to the plot.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
And it doesn't, like, add anything to the characters, because everything's, like, so paper thin with their relationship. It's just like,
it's really forced.
We're together now. And I'm like, great. Great. And I didn't think there were enough robots in the movie. Like, for being about robots, it's mostly just Gene Simmons with his laser gun. And, like, there's the robot at the beginning, there's the robot that malfunctions, and then there's the spiders and the drone, and that's it. And I also didn't think the world was, like, well built enough, because almost all of it is just the 80s.
Yeah.
And then randomly they have, like, little robots, a laser gun, and, like, the facial recognition thing. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So it just felt lazy, I guess.
Definitely wasn't ahead of the curve.
Man.
Curve.
We should make it again.
No.
Kanye West already did.
Did he really?
He made the 40-minute music video for Runaway.
Oh, yeah.
We should watch that instead.
We should.
Yeah, so let me check my notes. Oh, they're actually on the computer. Let me see if there's anything else that is pertinent. Open it in Notepad.
Whoa!
Oh yeah, do you remember the jump scare at the end?
Oh, Gene Simmons.
There's a Gene Simmons jump scare at the end.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "Rah!" and then he dies. That's it.
Yeah, that was pretty epic.
My favorite part of the film, when Tom Selleck comes down the elevator after he fixes it, Gene Simmons is right in view, and he has his face on, and he's has this really creepy ass grin, and it just comes into frame as this elevator comes down, and it's the funniest fucking thing I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
no, Gene Simmons face in this movie.
He's
he has
so
this exaggerated.
The acting's very bad in this movie.
Yeah.
Tom Selleck's okay, I guess, but also, why has Tom Selleck always looked like he's 50? How old was he in this movie?
Probably 50. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Probably his late 40s. Mid to late 40s.
Yeah, I guess he was 39.
Oh, shit.
Because
He...
I remember him being on Friends 15 years later and him looking the exact same. And I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's just one of those guys who looks the same for 30 years.
Yeah, like Steve Martin.
Yeah.
It's I've looked 70 forever.
Exactly.
So what'd you give the film? A 5?
I'm gonna knock it down to a 4.
I gave it a 3.
Okay.
So 3.5 together. Unless you're Pierre, don't watch this movie, I guess.
Yeah.
And, okay. Time to talk about the Roger Eggers film, The Witch.
Yeah.
The Witch. I remember when it came out, everybody's like, it's pronounced The Witch. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's literally just for aesthetic purposes. It looks like that. Or, the full name, I think it's called The Witch, a New England horror story, or a New England horror fairy tale or something.
Huh.
It's the subtitle that appears. So, Thomas, this was your first introduction to it, correct?
Yeah, no, I had never seen it before. I thought it was pretty fucking great.
Yeah, a New England folktale.
Yeah, at the end of the film, they said that they took it and based it off all the historical documents.
That's actually what I wanted to talk about first.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure a bunch of the staff most of the speech in the script is based on
it's actually
actual
quoted from
words,
things that
quotes, yeah.
from that time period.
Everything, even though watching it, you could say some of this stuff sounds cheesy or something if you're just looking at it in a vacuum, but that's exactly how they talked.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what they sounded like.
Does my English tongue offend you?
No, I really like this movie. I really fucking like this movie. And I was a little afraid. I'm always a little afraid of movies that I haven't seen 4 years that I loved. Not enjoying them anymore, but I liked it just as much, maybe even a little more.
Yeah, no, I thought this was fucking phenomenal. I really enjoyed it.
And Anya Taylor-Joy, she's a good actress, you know?
Yeah. No.
This, and she's really good in Split.
Yeah. I've liked her in everything I've seen. I've seen her in a few things. I don't remember.
I really want to see her in Thoroughbreds. I still haven't watched Thoroughbreds.
Same here.
So, do you want to go over the plot?
Yeah. So, basically, this family gets kicked out of their town, and
Because they're too religious.
Yeah.
They're you're going crazy, man.
Yeah. So they get sent, or so they go to this farm, and they're not doing too well. Their crops are rotten. And they had, like, a baby that was taken by a wolf.
Yeah, so, like, one of the first opening scenes is, like, Anya Taylor-Joy. Her character's name is...
Thomasin.
Thomasin. Yeah, Thomasin. And she's the oldest daughter. They have 5 kids in total. They have her, the younger brother who's, like, 13 probably.
Yeah.
They have fraternal twins who are probably about 8 or 7 maybe?
Yeah.
Or 6? I don't know. Like little kids and just like that. And then they have a newborn baby that was born after they had moved.
Yeah.
So it's probably like 4 months old or something.
Mm-hmm.
And actually it looks a little old, maybe like 8 months old. And Anya Taylor-Joy's character, Thomasin, is like, I'll go take care of it. And she's like, just playing with it. It's just laying down. She's playing peekaboo with it. And this scene's really, like, well shot. And it's like, it fills you with dread even while it's happening before anything happens. You're just like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. So she, like, he's playing peekaboo on, like, the 4th peekaboo. She's like, where is he? And then he's just gone. She's like, Samuel? And she's like screaming for him. She's like, Samuel! And she like runs into the woods looking for him and she can't find him anywhere. And then it cuts to like a witch. And she's like eating his heart.
It's pretty intense. So
this film's made of like really, really intense moments. And then like 20 to 30 minutes of like slow burn, like, build up to the next really, really intense moment.
Yeah. Which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, I did too. And then, like, the last half is, like, 20 minutes, and then, like, 9 super intense moments.
Yeah.
And then the movie ends.
Yeah, so, basically, after that point, the father and the son, like, go, like, rabbit hunting. And they had, like, sold the mom's silver cup.
Yeah.
A lot of it went over my head, because this is, like, my first time watching it. So I might be, like, skipping some details that might not have, like, stuck with me. But...
I mean, yeah, most of it is just, like, them, like, being angry at the daughter.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, I didn't fucking do anything. I was, like, watching him. And then he literally disappeared. And, oh my god, the twins in this movie are evil.
Yeah, no, they're little shits.
Proof that twins are all evil.
It certainly adds to that case. That's
including my girlfriend.
Oh, I forgot your girlfriend's a twin.
Oh. But, like, one of the twin girl is like, you fucked up! And she's like, I'm the witch of the woods. Thomasin tries to, like, fuck with the little girl to, like, get her to stop. And she, like, the speech is, like, really fucked up. She's like, I fucking ate him.
Yeah.
I'm the witch of the woods. But it's really good. And I'm like,
I be the witch of the woods.
And the girl, like, freaks the fuck out. And then the brother's like, what the fuck did you do that for? And then, yeah, he goes out. The father had sold the mother's, like, silver cup for money to get, like, hunting supplies to get food.
Yeah.
Because they need food and the crops aren't harvesting very well. So they go out to hunt and they don't get anything.
Yeah.
And then
the father, like, tries to shoot that demonic looking fucking rabbit and then, like, fucking
I don't
blows up
understand
in his
how
ear.
they made a rabbit look so fucking scary.
But they did it.
Yeah, the gun, like, misfires, and he, like, gets a bunch of stuff in his eyes, like, ah!
Yeah.
And then they head home, and the mom's like, where the fuck have you been? I was so worried.
Somehow Thomasin gets the blame.
Yeah, Thomasin's like, what did I do? They're so rude, like, awful to her.
Yeah.
And the son's, like, trying to keep it from the dad, and he's like, I thought I had seen an apple tree down in the valley. So we went down. That's not what they sound like.
Yeah.
So we went down to the valley, and I'm sorry, I couldn't find it. I was wrong. And she's like, oh, it's okay. But they're still awful to Thomas.
Yeah. Go clean up your fucking father, you bitch.
They're like, Thomason's like, you were supposed to be watching the kids. And she's like, I was. They're right there. And then the kids are like, la, la, and they're like, shut up. And then she's like, shut up. And they're like, fuck you, Thomason. Don't say that to your siblings. And she's like, what the fuck do you want from me?
Yeah.
Oh. They're so awful to her.
Yeah, they are. So, later that night, basically, the mother's freaking out that they're gonna, like, starve to death. So the father's like, fine, I'll take Thomason and tomorrow and, sell her to a family or whatever.
And Thomason overhears this, but
Yeah.
doesn't let them know. Also, this is the same, right before that she had been blaming. She'd been like, where the fuck's my cup?
Oh,
and
yeah.
she's like saying that to Thomason. She's like, did you steal my cup? She's like, no, I haven't touched it. She's like, you're a fucking liar. And she's like, no, I didn't touch your stupid cup. And the father's like, doesn't want to reveal that he sold the cup. And he's like, don't be, she didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Oh. So yeah, in the morning, early morning, the young boy, he's like, I'm going to go check the traps. And Thomason's like, hey, let me come with you. And he's like, no. And she's like, I'm going to get mom and dad and tell them you're going if you don't let me come.
Yeah.
He's like, fine. So they start walking.
And then that demonic fucking rabbit
The rabbit shows up, the scary ass rabbit, and
scares the dog away.
scares the dog and the horse away.
Well, the boy, like, runs after the dog and leaves Thomason on the horse. And then the horse is, like, freaking the fuck out.
Oh, and knocks her off. And does she, like, pass out for a little bit?
Yeah, I think so.
And the boy's, like, running, looking for the dog, and he, like, can't find her. But he finds the witch.
Yep.
And the witch is, like, this sexy lady. She's like, oh.
And she digs her claws into him.
Yeah, she goes up to him. She's like, hey, little boy, I love kissing little boys. And she, like, starts to, like, kiss him. And then, her hand comes out, and it's, like, a scary hand. It's not, like, a sexy lady hand. It's like, this lady's not what she appears to be. I'm making this scene sound much dumber than it was. It was a good scene.
Yeah, it's done pretty well in the movie.
And then Thomason, like, wanders home, and, like, everyone's, like, screaming, like, Thomason! And what was the son's name? Hold on.
I don't remember.
Man, I thought I remembered everybody's name.
But, she basically walks up and they're like, what the fuck?
Caleb. Yeah. Where the fuck is Caleb? And she's like, I don't know. The horse ran. And then they're blaming her, of course. And then, is this the part? No, it's not quite yet. But the dad's like, I'll go look for him. And I won't be back till morn. Or I won't be back until I find him. And it's like, it's dark outside. He's like, I don't care. The moon's bright. It'll light me more than the day. Because the days are always so bleak and dreadful that the moon probably would light us way better. Like, that's one thing to know. It's like, throughout the entire film, daytimes look like death.
Yeah.
Like, everything's extremely gray and, like, dull and depressing and scary, even.
It's a lot like here.
I mean, it's not that bad of a day today.
No, not today. Sometimes it gets
It's like Washington. Ugh.
Shit.
Ugh. What scene were we on? Oh yeah, he's like decides to go into the woods, but he does decide to wait till morning. I can't remember the reason why, but then
Is this the scene where he reveals about the cup?
yes, he does.
Yeah.
He's like, I sold the cup. And she's like, why? And he's like, to get the money to buy the hunting supplies. It's also not what they sound like.
Yeah.
And she's like, you fucking cunt. And it kind of shows here that, because at the beginning of the movie, when they got, like, banished, it made it seem like he was, like, the religious, like, crazy nut. But it's more revealed here that, like, she is.
Yeah.
She's pretty crazy. But then, of course, he goes and does a crazy thing and slaps her in the face.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, they're both crazy. unfortunate. And then he takes her to bed. He's like, I'm sorry. So they decide to stay there the night. And then Caleb shows up.
Yep.
In the dead of morning, and he's like naked, and he's like crying. And he's like, oh! And they like bring him to a bed in the upstairs, like even maybe like attic area. And they're all like trying to pray for him, and he's like freaking out. He's like thrashing back and forth.
Yeah.
And the twins come in. They're like, Thomason did it. She's a witch.
And then they start like pretending to be like fucking.
The daughter tells the mom that Thomason like told her she was the witch, and she's like, I was joking.
Yeah.
That sounds like them. I be joking. I was just trying to trick thee.
Yeah.
And then Caleb starts like screaming and being like, she's got her claws on me! Ah! And she's like freaking out, and he's like thrashing back and forth.
And he starts to calm down a little.
But the little kids also do the same thing.
Oh yeah.
And they like start praying over him, and then suddenly he like starts to calm down, and he like can't open his mouth, and he like isn't breathing, and they're like, his jaw's like wired shut, like it won't open, and so the dad like grabs a knife and like pries it open.
Yeah.
And there's an apple, and there's a little rotten apple lodged in his mouth, and he spits it out.
Oh no, the fruit of knowledge. It's the bad symbolic fruit from the Bible.
Is that an impression of me?
I don't know. It's just some voice I was doing.
And then, of course, they think that it's Thomason. They think she's a witch.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, the kids were just saying she was a witch, and he just spit out a rotten apple. That sounds like witchcraft to me.
So, like, her and her dad, like, go outside, and he's like, tell me if you're a witch.
And she's like,
I'm not, father.
Yeah.
And
she's like, what about the twins? They're always talking to that black goat you've got.
Yeah, Black Phillip, the goat.
Yeah.
This recurring character, Black Phillip, he's just a goat that they have that's, like, kind of crazy. He's, like, running around.
Yeah.
He looks kind of scary, too.
There's some scenes where I was like, I want to go up and I want to pet that goat. Because you could tell it was just being a goat in some scenes. And it's just like, aw.
And he's like, you need to tell me the truth. And she's like, you want the truth, father? I heard you tell mother that you were gonna go sell me in the town.
And you didn't tell her about the cup?
Yeah, and he's like, ah. And she's like, it's the twins. She told me she was the Witch of the Woods. She says exactly what they had said about her.
Yeah.
And she, like, kind of tries to convince her father that they're the, like, witches. And so then he locks them all into, like, the barn.
Yeah.
Like, he nails it shut with, like, Black Phillip and the twins. And then he, like, goes to bed.
Yep. And the mother has a trippy ass.
Yeah, this is where a bunch of crazy shit happens.
Yeah. This is like 13.
Yeah, this is almost the end of the movie. So, does the mother thing happen first?
Yeah.
Okay, so the mother, she wakes up in the, like, dead of night. And she sees in a chair right in front of her
Caleb and
holding Caleb's holding Samuel.
Yeah.
She's like, my sons, you've returned. I should go get your father. And they're like, no, let him sleep. And I don't know if you noticed this, and it might just be like my mind.
There's the part where she was like breastfeeding the baby, and then when it showed it, it was like a fucking raven.
Yeah, like right after this. She's like breastfeeding the baby. Oh, you're hungry. And it just shows her like rocking back and forth, smiling, and a raven just pecking at her fucking nipple. And I'm like,
yeah.
Is this visitor cute? No. But right before that, I don't know if you saw this, and it might just be like my mind like looking like this, but as they were sitting, and there's a bag behind them, and the shadow that they cast looks like a hooded figure with a sickle.
Huh. I didn't notice that.
It might just be like my mind being like, hey, that kind of... It might not have been intentional, but I thought it like legitimately looked like that. So maybe check out that scene and tell me what you think.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that. 'Cause that sounds pretty interesting.
And it might just be being like overanalyzing things, being like, oh, I see what they're doing. So meanwhile, in the barn, they had just been kind of hanging out and they were really bored, but they all fell asleep
in the middle of the night.
And then they heard like a crash.
Yeah. And
they're like looking around and they like see something. This was the scariest scene in the movie. Yeah, just like they see like a figure, like a naked woman, like hunched over.
It's like some
like sucking on a cow's tit or something like that.
Yeah,
a cow's teat. And she like turns around. It's like this old like witch, and she just like screams. And that's like the whole scene. And it wasn't like that part that was, it was just like panning over and just seeing like a naked, like crouched figure hunched over. I'm like, that's fucking creepy.
Reminds me of, oh God, I can't remember the name of the artist who paints it, but, like, oh shit. It's the painting of the dude who's like eating his son.
Yeah, I don't remember that one either. Like, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, the painting. I will put it right here in audio form, what painting it is now. Bap.
The painting is Saturn devouring his son by the Spanish artist Francisco Goya. Whoa.
And that was the painting.
Yep.
And then it's morning time. And the father's waking up, and he's like, oh, he had been, like, sleeping on, like, the bench. Like, he didn't sleep in the bed. Or, no, he did. And he didn't notice his wife's breasts were all bloody. Yeah. He's like, oh, time to get up. And he, like, wanders outside, and the barn's, like, destroyed. And everyone's gone. All the animals are dead, except Thomas, and is just laying there, and she wakes up, and she's like, what the fuck happened? He's like, ye,
and then
ye witch, and he's like threatening her, and she's like, I didn't do it. And then suddenly, jump scare, Black Phillip rams him and stabs him in the stomach with his horns.
Yep.
And he's like, oh! And he like grabs a knife and he's like gonna try to attack Black Phillip, but Black Phillip does it again, and he like hits him into a bunch of logs, and like logs fall on top of him, and the dad dies. Yeah. And this is like this one of the scenes that I'm like, hey, it's just a goat being a goat. Because as soon as it cuts from him like hitting him the second time, you just see the goat like kind of wander off like a little goat, just like, and I'm like, that's really funny. Because I'm just like, it is just a goat. It's not an actual like demon like in the movie. And then Thomason's like, Dad! And then the mom wanders out. And she's like, you're a witch! And she's like, I'm not a witch, I'm your daughter!
And then Thomason reaches for a knife, cuts her face, and then that's when the mom like goes like true psycho and starts trying to strangle her.
Yeah, and like she's bleeding all over Thomason's face. She's like, Mom, stop! And then she kills her.
Yeah, and so Thomason just slices a couple more times and kills her mom, lays there for a minute with her on top of her, and then eventually pushes her off.
And goes, then just kind of like wanders around the house for a bit.
Takes a depressing nap.
Everyone's dead. And then finds like...
She goes to talk to Black Phillip. And she's like, can you actually fucking talk?
Yeah, Black Phillip, please speak to me. And as she's leaving, he's like, what do you want?
She's like, what can you give?
She's like, fuck. And he's like, would you like a pretty dress? Would you like to live forever? Or stuff like that.
Yeah, and she's like, I think the thing he sells her on is like, do you want like a delicious life? I think is.
Oh yeah, and I wrote in my notes, if a goat ever asks if you want a delicious life, run. So he's like, here, sign in my book, and she's like, I don't know how to write my name.
I will guide your hand.
Yeah, and then like this like masked or this figure that like you can't see his face or anything except like his hand really like appears out of the darkness and helps to guide her hand. And then the ending is just like her wandering into the woods in the middle of the night.
Finds a coven of witches.
Shots. There's a coven of witches, and they're like all dancing, and then they all just start like floating up.
Yep, and that's the end of the movie.
And that's the end of the movie.
Man, this is a great movie.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to The Lighthouse.
Yeah, me too.
Comes out next month.
Yes. The Lighthouse. That I'm guessing that'll be like somewhere near the top of my list for the year.
Oh, I
really hope
anywhere
so.
near as good as this one, then definitely.
I really love the composition for this movie. A lot of this music is really, really good.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, my main complaint with like Hollywood, like blockbuster, like horror films is literally the soundtrack is just like drones. And they're not even like very good drones. It's just like, dun, dun. But this one is like, there's a bunch of like violins and there's like horns. Like,
yeah, there's more going on.
And it's really good. And the composer like hasn't done a lot of work. He's doing the work for the Lighthouse. The same cinematographer as well, who also hasn't done a lot of work. It seems like they all are like, but the composer was also the composer for Cube.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's weird.
Huh.
I remember the composition being like pretty decent for Cube. Like that was one of the better parts. That movie's not very good. It's okay.
I haven't seen it.
Oh. The idea of it is better than the movie.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I've heard. I almost watched it like a month or two ago, but I never got around to it.
I enjoyed it. It's just, it's aged pretty poorly.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, but I really love the composition in this film, and I really love the cinematography. There's some really great shots. My favorite being, after Caleb dies, they take his body and they go to like dig a grave for it. And there's this really like, it's like a long shot. They're like pretty far away and they're digging the grave, and it's just like this bleak sky. They're digging the grave and then they're just like standing there. And I just love that shot. And then right after, it's like the woman like went down into the grave with him to like give him one last hug. And then it cuts back to the dad and it's like looking up at him from like the grave, and like, that's a great shot too. Oh.
Yeah, I think my favorite shot in the movie was probably the one where Caleb is dying and he's like, it's like from like the front of the room and you see him like fucking crossing out in front of like the window light, and the mother's like standing like directly behind him.
There's some that was some really impressive like child acting.
Yeah, no,
like during the possession scene and him like dying, that was some really good. And even like the kids were dickheads, but they were doing like pretty much all the child acting was pretty great in this movie.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought the actor who played Caleb like knocked it out of the water and potentially had the best performance in the movie.
Yeah,
but they were all
Harvey Scrimshaw.
Oh, huh. Is he in anything else?
No.
Oh.
No. He was in a movie called Oranges and Sunshine by Jim Loach. But it looks like maybe he like does TV or something.
Maybe. But yeah, this movie is fucking legit. I really fucking enjoyed it.
I made a lot of notes for this movie. Let me see if I have any like I want to talk about really. Because most of them I just remember from writing them, but I also really want to make like the set that they have looks just like out of the time period, and so the costuming looks really good. Like everything looks correct for the time period, and of course the accents and the dialogue are all like the world they built like is so well constructed.
Yes,
like that was incredibly impressive. Ah, yes, twins are always evil. That's just a fact. Oh yeah, just like I really do like when films, like horror films specifically, can have like mostly day scenes and it still make it look so bleak and dreadful.
Yeah.
And that movie did it very well.
Yeah, no, this movie was extremely like just fucking melancholy like looking.
And it's a really sad movie, you know?
Yeah.
Like Thomason was like to make her become a witch or whatever, like her family just destroyed all their love for her, and like the whole time every bad thing that happened they blamed her for it. It's just like
Yeah, it's like the
so
only
sad. And then she has to live.
the only one who was ever nice to her was Caleb.
Yeah,
he
and then
fucking
they
dies.
blamed her for his death.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty sad movie, but jeez, I think the dad also had a fantastic performance as well.
Yeah, I thought
there's
that
some
as well.
really great.
He also just looked, because I
He
remember
looked
thinking,
really good.
yeah, because like if you like look at like paintings and stuff of the time period, like people like look generally the same today, but you can tell that like
Yeah, he looks like he's from like the 60s,
Yeah.
1700s, and I'm like, how do you do that? Oh,
and his voice performance,
Yeah.
he had like the perfect voice for it.
yeah, I would agree.
I was like, this is exactly who I picture someone from like the fucking
It looks like he would be at like a reenactment center or whatever. Like you go to
Yeah.
like a town that's like reenacting it. So he's like, yeah, that's the guy that's here every day. He just lives here. Ralph Ineson.
Huh. But yeah, I'd probably... My numerical rating would probably be a 9.
Yes, I will also give this film a 9 out of 10.
That means our average is a 9!
A 9 out of 10.
Alright. Well,
So, great movie, you know.
yeah.
And you know, I didn't... Runaway was pretty bad, but which made up for it.
Yeah,
So, you got classic next week.
I do.
What are we thinking?
I'm thinking... Alright, do you want
Oh,
1960 or 1968?
68.
Night of the Living Dead.
Okay, cool. I still haven't seen it.
It's right there on
It
your
is.
fucking table.
Okay, so Night of the Living Dead by
George A. Romero.
Romero.
This movie is public domain. There's
So is
Tons
it like a
of free-
high quality version on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Criterion upload is on YouTube.
Nice, okay.
So, HD quality. If you really can't stand black and white movies, there's a colorization version, which I personally don't think works tonally as well. But, I mean, it doesn't, like, ruin the film or anything. It's still a great film. So, however you want to watch it, check it out. And at some point, we'll have to watch the Tom Savini remake with Tony Todd. But
Is
I
it
want to watch
good?
this one first. Yeah. In certain aspects, I think it's better.
Wow.
Because it modernizes it.
What other stuff has Tom Savini made?
Directed? I don't know.
Nothing. I mean, almost nothing.
I know
Okay.
he's acted in other stuff and done like special effects works for other stuff, but
Oh, he did like the makeup for a lot of like the other Dawn of the Dead movies. Like he
he did
Day
everything
of the
from
Dead.
like Dawn of the Dead to
Huh.
I think he helped on Land of the Dead, but I think Greg Nicotero had taken over at that point.
So I'm picking a movie by James Gray because I like Ad Astra that much.
Okay.
So this one came out in 2016. Has Robert Pattinson. It
Okay.
has Tom Holland.
Okay.
It has Charlie Hunnam. It has Ian McDermott.
Okay.
This one's called The Lost City of Z.
The Lost City of Z. Okay.
Yes. So let me see where you can watch The Lost City of Z. I've heard pretty great things about it. And if it's anything like Ad Astra, I'll love it. It is on Prime Video.
Okay. I got that. So.
Okay. So thanks, you guys, for watching. Watch The Witch if you haven't. It's a great movie. And tune in next time for more Screen Weens. But don't forget,
Don't.
tell your grandma.
Tell your grandma. Tell your dog. Tell your mailman. Tell your mailman to tell his grandma and his dog. Yeah. So, it's this episode of Screen Weens.
Ba-da-do-do-do.